Overview of authentication and authorization. Now first, user account. What is user account? This user account is an object that contains all the information that defines the user. User means what? The person who is going to use the machine. So we call this person as a user. Now the person will be what? It's a physical person. But when he wants to use the machine, so he has to present, he has to authenticate himself. Like he has to tell the machine that I am the guy, and for that it will present its user account. In that user account, it has all the information about that person, that who is that person, what it do, and what are the privileges it has. So the account can be a local or an ADDS domain account. So we have different type of accounts. So it can be ADDS account or it can be a local account. ADDS account is actually Active Directory domain services account, which used in the domain environment. A user account includes the username and password and can contain other organization or infrastructure information such as department, telephone number, manager, and which you use to browse hierarchically through the organizations. And home directory and the location in which the user profile is stored. So the user account contains all these different informations. Now Windows 10 supports these following types of accounts. Now first is the local account. Local account, that is when you talk about local means what? The account will only work on the current machine. It will not work on any other machine. That means with that account you can only log in to the current machine. You cannot log in to any other machine. So Windows support local account which works only on the local machine and it will not work on any other machine. Suppose in your environment, in your connected network, if you are having 10-20 machines, so the account which you create on the one machine will not work on any other machine. It is called local account. Then we have domain ADDS account. It is Active Directory domain accounts. Now domain accounts can work on all the client machines. Remember, it works on all the client machines. That means it works on domain environment. Domain environment, that means where we have a single server which manages all the machines in the network, and we create the domain accounts on that machine, and that machine calls domain controller. So we install Active Directory services on that machine, it becomes the domain server, domain controller, and then we create all the accounts on that domain controller, and then we can log in with those accounts in any other machines in our network, which is the client of that domain. So these are the domain accounts. Now next is what? Microsoft Azure Active Directory account. Now this is same as this ADDS account. It is what? Active Directory domain services account. So this is also the same one, but this is what? It is Microsoft Azure account. It is created on Microsoft Azure Active Directory, and it can be used to log into different web services or different cloud services provided by the Microsoft, because it is actually the cloud account. This Microsoft Azure is the cloud service of Microsoft, where we have different services, and there is one of the service is called Azure Active Directory, which used to create domain user account, Azure domain account, where we can create the account on this Active Directory, and that account, that user account, can be used to authenticate to different Microsoft product or Azure or cloud product. Then we have Microsoft account. Microsoft account is like a simple Microsoft account which is you can create on the Microsoft site, that is like your Microsoft Outlook account, Live account, Hotmail account. So when you create any account on Microsoft services, then it will be your Microsoft account, and you can use it on Windows 10 to log in and use the different tools, different services on Windows 10 also. Now, as an operating system element, the user account and its proprietaries are vital components in two of the most important Windows functions, that is authentication and authorization. So these user accounts are used to do these very important elements, that is authentication and authorization. Now authentication. Authentication means the process of verifying that the identity of the person operating the computer is the same as the user account the person is employing to gain access. That means it will provide the identity of the person who is trying to use the computer. It is the right person and it is the authenticated person who is authorized to use the machine, use the computer. So authenticating or verifying the process of verifying and of the identity of the person is called authentication. Typically, to be authenticated, the human user must supply some piece of information associated with the user account, such as password, and demonstrate some personal characteristics such as fingerprint or prove access to a identifying possession such as a smart card. So either you authenticate yourself by providing human user will provide some credentials like passwords, or we can use the physical thing for login authenticating, like we can use a fingerprint sensor, we can use the face detection, or even we can use the smart card also. So identifying or verifying our human user to the machine is that process called authentication. Now configuring the user accounts. First, configuring local accounts. Now if you want to configure the local account in our Windows 10, so you can create a local user account for a family member only on a workgroup or standalone Windows computer. Now remember, in Windows we have two types of environment. One is the domain environment and the other one is the workgroup environment. Workgroup environment is for the small network or less amount of machines. Suppose you are having 10, 20, 50 machines, not even 50 also, 10, 20, so we can work on workgroup. We can work on workgroup environment. Now if your environment is small, like you are having only 10, 20 machines, so it is handleable, it is manageable. But if you are having lots of machines, if you are having a big environment where you are having 100, 200 or 500 machines to work for, then the workgroup environment is not easy to manage. And that is why we have domain environment. Now where domain environment we can manage 100, 200, 500 and more than 500 machines together. What is the difference between these? Now in workgroup environment, all the machines which is in the workgroup environment, they all are administrator. That means if you are having 10 machines in your domain environment, workgroup environment, then all those 10 machines are their own administrator. That means administrator of one machine cannot administrator other machine. It can only administrator only one machine, that only machine. And accounts which you create on that local machine cannot be used to log in on any other machine. And that is why you can create the local account only on workgroup environment, or we can say standalone Windows computers. Standalone Windows computer, that means you are having only single computer, no environment, nothing. You are the home user, you are having only one machine, that is a standalone machine. You can create local account for your family members. Like you are using the machine, you want your brother, your sisters to use that machine, then you can create account for them, so that they can use it separately, so that you can create the local account. Otherwise, if you are using a workgroup environment where you are having 10, 20 machines, then you can create also local user account in a workgroup environment. Now when you create account on one machine, that account will not work on any other machine. And that is why we need domain environment, because when you create one account on one machine, it will not work on any other machine. So it will become the management problem if you are having large number of machines. For example, I am having 10 machines, and and suppose I am having 20 users who's working on those 10 machines. Now if one user works on one machine and other user is working on other machine, so work group environment is like this, where you have multiple machines connected together, but not more than like 10, 20 machines, 30 machines. Now what happens when you create account on this machine? Suppose I create one account here on this local machine. This is my local account. So if I create account here, now I cannot use that account on these other machines. If I try to log in with that account here, then it will not work. Same as the administrator account of this machine will not work on these machines. So administrator account on this machine cannot administrator all these other machines. That is why it is called all machines are their own administrators. So in this case, if you are having to manage all these machines, then you have to manage them separately. That means everything is separate. So when you decentralize, suppose when I create an account, only account will work here, local account. So when I create local account here, that does not work on other machines. So if I want this user to log into these machines, then I have to create these account separately on these machines. So suppose I have 10 users, 10 machines and 20 users to work. So I have to create all the 20 accounts on all the different machines. So I have to create the same account on all the machines. That means I create one account here. So I want to use the account on other machines, then I have to create the same account on all the machines. That means on all the 10 machines I have to create all the 10 accounts. And the permissions which I gave to this user on this machine, it will not work here same. So I have to assign the same permissions on this machine also, on this machine also, on this machine and this machine. So I have to manage everything separately, decentralized. Now if you are having 10-20 machines, you can manage it. But if you are having 100 machines and you are having 200 users, then it is very difficult to manage it. And in that case we use the domain environment. Now in domain environment, what we have is the server, centralized server, who is managing all these accounts, all these machines. So in domain environment, what we use is the server here, and we connect the server to the domain, to the network, and we configure the Active Directory services here on the server. Now if I want to, if I having 100 machine, 200 machine, doesn't matter, because I don't have to create account on every machine. I just have to create account on only this machine, and that account will be called domain account. Now when I create any account on this server, so because these machines are the client of this server, I can use that account to log into any other machine in that network. So any other client machine in that network. So the things get centralized here. That means every configuration, every account, we do everything on this particular server. We don't have to manage these things on separately on every machine. So no matter we are having 100 machine, 200 machines, we can manage them all by using this server and from the centralized way. And that is why we use the domain account. And remember, domain account we can create only on the domain server. We cannot create on these client machines. And Windows 10 is the client machine, so we can't create domain account on that client machine, but we can use that domain account to log into the Windows 10. and we create domain account on server. So this is local account, and here to create a local user account on a standalone and Windows computer or one that is joined to ADDS joined, perform the following step. Now even your machine, even your Windows 10 is also member of the Windows domain, still you can create the local account on that machine. To create the local account, very simple, open the setting app. Now remember, in Windows 10 it is the consolidated settings we have, so we are not able to create the account from control panel. Previously we are having the option to create account and manage account from create account from the control panel, but now we can create the account only from setting app. So open the setting app, then you will go to the account category, and from the account category you will go to family and other people, node, and computer is in work group if the computer is in work group, and or if the computer is joined to ADDS domain, then you have to click the other people. You will see the option other people. Then you will scroll down to under the other people and click the add someone else to this PC. Another windows appears asking for that person email address or telephone number. Enter the required information or click the I don't have this person saying sign in information link at the bottom of the windows, and if you click the I don't have this person information link, you have the option to create an email account or to continue without an account. So you can create email address for the person in outlook.com on the let's create your account page, and if you do not wish to create an email address, click the add user without Microsoft account hyperlink at the bottom of the page, and on the create an account page, create an account for this PC page, type the name, type the new password twice, and then click next to create the local account. This is the setting app where you can create the account from this family and other people. Let me show you that how you can do this in your Windows. So to create a local account, we can create in the machine where it is in work group, or even if the machine is member of the domain, still we can create the local account. So first we'll go to setting app. Previously we can create the account from control panel also, but now we are not have option to create the account from control panel. Now we have only option in setting app to create a local account. So I will go to setting. Now under the setting we'll go to account section. Under the account, it is showing first your current account information. It is showing that this is the local account. This is the account which I created when I was installing the system. So this is my local account, and also it is saying that this is administrator. So this is administrator also. Now it says here that Windows is better when your setting and files automatically sync. So use the Microsoft account to easily get all your stuff on all your devices. Basically, Windows 10 wants you to log in with your Microsoft account, Microsoft email account, Outlook account, Live account. So your account will be synced with the Microsoft. So whatever your settings are there, whatever your files, document files are there, it can be synced to the Microsoft account. So always it will tell you to log in with your Microsoft account when you are into local account. Then you are having your it is giving you option to create your picture, which will show here, and also if you are having already the picture in your machine, then you can browse it. You can take it from your camera, you can browse it. Now this is my account which I created when I was installing the system. Now I want to create the local account, so I will go to this family and other users option. Now in this option it is showing here that family and other users and your family. So we can create an account for our family also. Now again it is showing here that sign in with your Microsoft account. It is saying that sign in with your Microsoft account to see your family here or add any new members to your family, and family members get their own signing and desktop, and you can help kids stay safe with appropriate websites and time limits, apps and games. You can do that by using this signing with your Microsoft account. Now I want to create the local account, so I will go for other user tab. Allow people who are not part of your family to sign in with their own account. These won't add them to your family. So this option says add someone else to this PC. So when you click on this, it will open this other window. Now again it is saying that you should log in with the email address of your Microsoft. So it is saying enter the email address or the phone number of the person you want to add. If they use Windows, Office, Outlook.com, OneDrive, Skype or Xbox, enter the email or phone number they use to sign in. So if you are adding the other user here, so you have to add the other user's email address or the phone number which they use to create the email address of Microsoft. Now it is again the Microsoft account, but I don't want to create Microsoft account, I want to create the local account. So you can click on this, that I don't have this person signing information. So I will say no, I don't have. Now it will tell you to create the account again. Now what it is saying, create an account, that means create a Microsoft email account. You can use the phone number to create the account, or you can get the new email address. Now again it is wanting you to create the Microsoft email account, but I don't want to create Microsoft account, so I will go for this, add a user without a Microsoft account, that means the local user. So I will click here, and now it is giving me option to create the local account. It is saying who is going to use this PC. So I will say like Tisha is going to use this machine. Now you have to provide the password for that. So let's say I will give ABC, and I will type the same password again, ABC. Now it says in case you forgot your password, give your security questions. So it will ask for 3 questions, or you can choose any of these 3 questions, and you can type the password, whatever your answer will be. So that if you forgot the password and you want to reset the password, so it will ask you these questions, and you remember this question, then it will reset your password. So let's say I will say this, I am making it easy to remember, and next. And now we can see the account is created here, and the account is local account, but still it is not an administrator, it is the local account. The administrator account is the account which we created at the time of installation. So this is how we can create the local account in Windows 10. Next is domain account. As I said, domain accounts are for domain. So we recommend using a domain account to sign into a Windows 10 based computer that belongs to the business or organization. So an ADDS user object is much more than just property that partition to a user's security identity or account. It is the foundation of identity and access in ADDS. So therefore, the cornerstone of the enterprise security management is constant. efficient and secure process for administrating user accounts. Now this account we can create only on domain controller. So in your domain controller, which can be your Windows Server 2012 server or Windows Server 2016, on these server machines, in these server operating systems, we can configure Active Directory services, and in that Active Directory services we can create the Active Directory user, which is also called the domain user. And we can do that by creating this into, we can do this by using Active Directory administrative centers. There is an option, Active Directory Administrative Center. You can open it from the tools, and then you can go to the account section. There is the option to create user, and when you click on that, it will open this window, and it will ask you to fill the whole information about the user, the first name, middle name, last name, full name, UPN. It will UPN to login, it will add automatically by the domain. Then password, confirm password. This is the user it is going to create. You can select this to protect from accidental deletion. Account expiration you can set the password options. So you can choose all these options, and then you can create the account. You can even manage the logon hours and logon to also. You can manage the logon hours, that means you can decide that which hours and in between which hours this user can log in, and you can also decide that on which machine these users can log in. That we can do only on the domain controller server, and we can create the domain account only on server. Now we can use that account to log into Windows 10. It supports that account, but creating the account will be on domain and domain controller. Next is Microsoft account. The Microsoft account provides you with the unified identity, and which you can use for authenticating to Microsoft and other cloud-based services. You can use this account regardless of your location or the organization of which you are a member, and your Microsoft account includes an email address and a password that you use to sign into a different services. And if you can sign into services such as Microsoft OneDrive, Xbox Live, Outlook.com, Hotmail or Windows Phone currently, so this means that you have a Microsoft account, and this also applies to the legacy Windows Live ID and Microsoft Passport sign-ins. So even you have a Microsoft account, you can sign up for a new account, for a new one. So if you are having an account, you can just log in with that account, or you can just create new account also. And you can do that by using the again setting app, and in the setting app we have the option to create email and app account. This account also we can use to access the Windows Store apps. So to creating this, we can create from same Windows setting app. So in Windows setting app, you will go to email and accounts. Now when you go to email and accounts, you will see the option to add an account. It says account used by mail, calendar and contact. So it is going to use the mail app, it is going to use for the calendar app, it is going to use for the contacts, it is also going to use this for the store app, it is going to use it for the Microsoft Edge. This is your mail app. So when you add your email account, your Microsoft account, so it is going to use for other things. You can add your account to this current administrator, like this is your local account. You can add the Microsoft account for your administration, or you can add the other accounts. So when you click on this add account, it will open this, and it asks you that which account you have. You have Outlook account, that means live account, Hotmail, MSN, or you have Office 365 account, Exchange account, you have Google account, you have Yahoo, iCloud, other account of POP3 or IMAP. So you have to add your Microsoft account, so you can click on this Outlook, or even you can add the Office 365. And when you click on this, it will give you option to log in, or it will give you option to create. So here it is giving you option to sign in with your email account, your Microsoft account, or you can create new account if you don't have. So you can create the new account if you don't have. And here it is also showing you this signing with the security key. Security key is the physical thing. That means security keys are the physical keys which looks like USB flash, where you can store your key, password key, login key, and then you can connect that key to login. That is signing option. So we can create the Microsoft account, or we can add the Microsoft account from here. Now Windows 10 sign-in options. Microsoft brings multiple features and capabilities to Windows 10 and makes it easier than ever to authenticate yourself on a PC. And you can use a password, PIN, picture password for logging into your computer. So from the Windows login screen, you can just switch between these sign-in or login options. In addition to traditional password-based login, Windows 10 also includes PIN and picture passwords logon for the safety and security of users. And you can use Microsoft email account based logon or a local account to access your computer. However, there are some design conflicts that may not allow you to use either of a PIN or picture password to log in into your system. For example, when you're in a safe mode, neither of these alternative works, and you need to have a traditional password in that case. So you have different ways of logging to this Windows 10. You can use the different ways of login, that is sign in with the local password. Like normally, traditionally we do what? We give normal username and password and login. Now Windows add different other ways of logging and signing. First, you can use the PIN. You can use the PIN to sign in. PIN, that means you can add four number password like you do on your mobile devices. You just enter the PIN, four number PIN, 4 character PIN, and you will enter the mobile. You will log in with your mobile. So same as here in Windows 10 also, we have available that we can use this PIN also to log into our Windows 10. But first you have to configure it, and for configuring the Windows PIN, you have to have the password first. So first you need a password, then you can configure the PIN. So in case you forgot the PIN, you can log in with your password. Then you can use the picture password also. Now this picture password is also for the touch screen device basically. Touch screen device just like tablet or smartphones, and normally we have in smartphones. So picture passwords are like in mobile you set some picture password, like you drag your screen on the screen in a pattern. So you make a pattern, and then that pattern will be your login credential. Now for setting up the picture password, you need PIN password or local password. Otherwise you can't set it. So that if you forgot the picture password, you can use either PIN or local password to sign in. Now there is a new thing we have in Windows 10 also, that which supports Windows Hello. Windows Hello, that which can detect your fingerprint or face detection, and it works. It is called Windows Hello. So you can use that by using the fingerprint or face to log into your system, but these are hardware dependent. That means you need the fingerprint scanner in your system so that you can use your fingerprint to log in, or you need the special camera that is used to used to detect the face. Normal webcam will not work. You need this another the special camera which is used to detect the face. So if your machine has this, then you can use the face detection also, and this is called Windows Hello. So first, to manage the local password or use the local password or change the local password to sign in, so you have option to use this sign in option for the local password. You can do it on the account section. For example, I will show you this, and then you can click on this to change the password currently if you have, and if you don't have, then you will get the option to add the password. So when you click on change password, then it will open this window to change the password and provide the hint, and then it will be changed. Let's see this in our Windows 10. So for configuring the local password, we can go to the same setting app and the account setting. Like when you open the setting app, you will go to accounts, and in accounts you have option here, sign in options. So when you click on this, you will see all these sign in options available which you can use. You have Windows Hello for face detection, you have Windows Hello for fingerprint detection, you have Windows Hello for PIN, you have security key, password and picture password. Now I will go for normal password. So it is giving me option that your account password is all set up to sign into Windows 10 apps and services. Now if you want to update the questions, security questions, that's 3 questions, then you can use this option, or you can change the password. Now it is giving me option to change, but which account? The account which I am using right now for login. So I am using this account, this administrator account for login. So it is asking me to change this password. It is giving me option to change the password for that current account. So if I click on this, so it will give me option to first provide the current password, ABC at 123. You can also view the password, and then it will give me option to provide the new password, confirm password and password hint, and then when you press next, it will be change. So this is how you can manage the current password for the current the change password, or even if you are not having a password, then you can add the password, and that is only for the current user that is logged in. So user can do what? The user can change their own password when you are logged in. Next we can use picture password. Picture password, we can click on picture password and we can click on add picture password. Now it will show you this. First it will ask you the current password for the authentication. If in case you forgot the picture password, then you can log in with your current local password. So first it will ask for that, and then it will give you option to like this to draw a pattern on this picture. So it will show you this picture. So it will show you one picture and it will ask you to draw that pattern on that picture, and that pattern will be your picture password. So whenever you start your system, so it will show you the picture and you have to design the draw. You have to draw the pattern on that picture, the same pattern which you have designed which you have set, and then it will log in. You will log in your system. Let's see this how we can set this picture password. So again, for configuring picture password, we'll go to setting app, accounts, and under accounts we'll go to sign in options, and under the sign in option we have picture password option. So we click on picture password, It shows that you can use this picture password to log in with your Windows apps and services. So you need, then you can click on add. Now it is giving you example here, and before that it is asking the current password. So my password is abc at 123. Remember, before adding a normal password you cannot create the picture password, because in case if you forgot the picture password, you can log in. You have to log in with your, you can log in with your normal password. Okay, now I can set the picture password here. It is showing the example here that how I can do this. Now this is very much good, very good for the touch screen devices. Even if you are having a touch screen laptop or a desktop, or best for the smartphone and tablets. Now first it is asking you to choose the picture. Now for this you need a picture where you can design the pattern. Now this is only the sample, so first you need to choose the picture. So you have to have a picture so that you can design the pattern on that picture, and then select your picture. So my picture is here, so I am selecting this picture, and now it is showing that picture. Now it says use this picture or choose a new picture. So I will say okay, I want to use this picture. Now it says that set up your gesture here. Now it will ask you to create 3. So draw 3 gestures on your picture. You can use any combination of circles, straight lines and taps. So remember these, remember the size, position and the direction of your gestures, and the order in which you make them become part of your picture password. So first gesture. So let's say I will do this cross. This is my first gesture. Oh, this is my 2 gestures are done, 1 and 2, and now I have to provide the third gesture. So third gesture I will put circle here. Now it says use confirm your gestures again. So my first gesture was this, then the second gesture was this, and the third gesture was the circle. Now you have congratulations, you have successfully created the password, and now I will say finish. And now you have option here to change or remove the picture password. Now let me show you how it works. So I will sign out from here. Now you have 2 options. Either you can use the normal password or picture password. So this is the welcome screen. When I press enter, now it shows me the picture password. So when you have configured the picture password, it will ask for the picture password first. Now if I remember the right gesture, so I will use it. So it was like this and this and the circle, and it is logging me in. Now if you provide wrong gesture, then it will not allow you to log in. It will say login failed, and we are logged in. And this is all for the current user. Now if I provide the wrong gesture, I'll do log out again. Okay, I press enter. Now again here it is asking me for the picture. Now suppose I am not remembering the right one, or suppose the order is wrong. So if I say first one is this, so I will say no, first one is this and the second one is this. I am giving wrong, and then the circle I also give wrong. It says no, the picture password is incorrect. So if you mention the wrong gesture and wrong order, then it will again not allow you to log in. Now if you suppose forgot your gesture, so then you can use this sign in options. So when you click on it, it will show you the picture password which we have set. Now I have forgot it, but still I remember the password, normal password. So I click on that and then I can use the normal password to sign in. And that is why you have to have the normal password, otherwise you are not able to log in. Actually you are not able to set the picture password. Now after the picture password, you have option to set the Windows pin password. So you can also set the pin password, but again for setting the pin password you need the normal password. So without normal password you can't set the pin password also. Then again you can set it from the setting app account section, again in the sign in options, where you will get the pin and you can click on add to enter the pin. Now when you add, first it will verify your account by using the current password. So you have to verify the current password, and then it will allow you to give the pin password. So let's see how it works. So again I have to go to setting app, accounts and signing options. And here I have Windows Hello pin. So when I click on it, so it says you can add now, because it is not there. So I will say add. Now again it is asking my normal password. So after giving your normal password, you can create the pin. Now what it says, create a pin to use in place of password. Having a pin makes it easier to sign into your device, apps and services. Now pins can be your numbers. Pins always be your numbers. So when you confirm the pin, you have to give the numbers. But if you want to use the letters and symbols, then you can click here and you can use letters and symbol as a pin also. I will use numbers. Let's say 2828 and the confirm 2828 and OK. Now it is configured, and now it is saying you can change the pin password or you can remove the password. And it is saying if you forgot, then it will ask you the normal password and then you can reset it. Same for the picture password. Picture password also, this is normal password, this is picture password. So picture password also you can change and remove, but I have set what pin password now. Now when I log out, I have three options. I can use pin password, I can use picture password, and also I can use normal password. Now when I press enter here, it is asking me now the pin. So if I give wrong pin 1212, it says no, you're wrong. But if I give the right pin, then it will allow me to log in. Now if I forgot the pin password, then I have the other options available. I can use pin password, I can use normal password, and I can use picture password. So if you forgot any of these, still you will remember, you have to remember the normal password. So I remember the pin password 2828, and you can see it is very easy to use, and it is a very quick way to sign into your Windows 10. So Windows 10 has those signing options, like we have picture password, pin password, normal password. We have other options also, Windows Hello options, but those options required physical thing, those requires the hardware things. Other Windows Hello options are hardware dependent, like Windows Hello fingerprint and face detection. So if I go to again sign in options, you can see here Windows Hello face. It will detect your face for the login, but this option is currently unavailable because it needs the hardware. It needs the special camera. I have a webcam, but it will not work. Then Windows Hello fingerprint, and this also needs what the currently not available because it also needs a separate hardware for it. You need a fingerprint sensor for this. So if you have these options, then you can use these also, and you can set it, you can configure this also same as this pin and picture. And you have new option available here. It is called security key. Now this is a physical security key that you can use for signing. Now it looks, this physical security key you can buy from the retailer where you can buy the Windows other products. It look like a Windows flash, so you can use that flash to log in. Like you connect that flash, and then when it looks like this, you can see the image here. So when you connect that, then you can log in. If you don't connect, then you are not able to log in. So these are the signing options we have here. You have option here to require signing for Windows. If Windows goes to sleep, that means when you don't do anything for a long period of time, then your Windows will go to sleep, and it will require a signing password to log in again. You have option again, one more option, it is called dynamic lock. Dynamic lock will do what? When Windows can device that are paired to your PC to know when you are away, or lock your PC when those devices go out of your range. That means suppose you pair your you pair your mobile with your Windows 10, and when your mobile goes away, that means Windows 10 will feel like you are not nearby nearby the Windows 10 device. Then it will automatically lock itself. You can enable this, and for that you need to pair some Bluetooth devices. Restart apps, automatically save my restartable apps when I sign out and restart them after I sign in. You can enable this feature, so whenever you sign out, whatever the apps which is running, so it will keep running when you sign in again. And there are some privacy options also available. Show account details such as my email address on sign in screen, it is off, and show my sign in info, automatically finish setting up my device after the update or restart. This is enabled. So these are the signing options we have. Next thing is authorization. Now authorization is a process of granting an authenticated user a specific degree of access to specific computer or data resources. In Windows, a user account is associated with the permission that grant the human user access to files and folders, printers and other resources. So very simple, authentication means identifying the user, and authorization means providing the permission to use the resources of the computer. It depends on the configuration that what permission that user can access the permission on files and folders, printers and all the other resources available on that Windows 10 machine, like files and folders. So files and folder permissions, which is also called NTFS security permissions. So we can manage these files and folder permission by using the NTFS security permissions, and it can be only configured by the admin, that admin wants that user to access the file or folder or not, and we can give them read, write or modify permissions. And this we can get by right clicking on any folder or file. So we can go to the property of the folder or file, and you can go to the security tab where you can see all the users available here. Now if the user is not there, then you can add the user there, and then you can edit the permission which you want to give that user. It is like for example, I have a folder here, so I will right click on that folder, I will go to the properties, and in this property I have this security tab. Now in the security tab I have these options here available, that these are the user accounts and these are the permissions for these user accounts. So if you like to assign some permission to those users, you have to add it, and then you can change the permission. If the user account is not showing there, then you can add that user account from here. Like I created this account. So this is the account. Now I can give the permission, allow or deny to this user account. So this is what authorization, that I am authorizing that user to access this resource, this file or folder. Then access on system and resources. This system and resources, access of system and resources is managed by the security policy. In local computer, it manages by the local computer local security policy, which we can open by syscpol.msc command, and in Active Directory environment in ADDS we can manage it by the domain group policy object, that is gpaddit.msc. So if you are having a local machine where you are only in a workgroup environment or local standalone computer, then you will get the local security policy. You can open by this syscpol.msc command. Or if you are in a domain environment, so remember, in the domain environment all the policies, all the permissions, all the user management will be centralized. So everything will be centralized and everything managed on the domain controller. And in the domain controller you have option for the domain group policy, and you can manage it from there. This is local group policy, which you can open from this security, local security policy, and the same local group policy also you can see on the domain group policy. For opening that security policy, you can go to Windows Run and you will type syscpol.msc, and it will open this local security policy. Now in this local security policy there is lots of things are there which you can manage: the account policies, local policies, Windows Defender and firewall policies, you have network policies, you have public key policies, software restrictions, you can manage application control, you can use IP security, and also you have advanced auditing policy. So there is lots of option here we have for the security policies. And also you have local group policy, which you can open from gpaddit.msc command. Now this policy is same as the domain group policy, but it will not work for the domain. It is only work for the local policy, local machine, because it is actually local group policy. So it will only apply on this local machine, but the same policy you will have on the domain, and when you configure it on the domain, it will apply on the whole domain. And on the whole domain, that means on all the client machine on that domain, whether you are having 100 or 200 client machines. And that is what authorization. So that is what authorization. So simple, authentication means a process of identifying the user, and authorization means the process of providing the access of resources to that user, so that user can use those resources by authorizing them. So this is the overview of authentication and authorization.